Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. That was like a really quick. I'm really excited if you can't tell. I'm really excited about today's video for a couple different reasons. One, I'm just really excited to film this video. I went back and forth multiple times in my head about whether or not I was going to film it. This is like my roundup of my favorite products of 2017, but I decided I'm going to do it. And looking at all this makeup in front of me just makes me happy because all this makeup is stuff that I love, that I'm obsessed with, that makes me smile, it makes me want to use it, makes me want to use makeup, and it just makes me really happy. So I'm really excited to get to talk about all this in one big video. But also, this is the first video that I'm filming in like 3 weeks. Everything was pre-recorded because I had to go out of town with my husband for Christmas. And I'm just really excited to be able to sit down here, talk to you guys again, film again, and get back into my normal routine. So before we get into this, I'm going to give you that sappy intro that I'm sure you've seen in every video this past week. We're starting a new year, and I can't believe how quickly we've grown here in this past year. I'm like 3 months from hitting my 1-year mark. And I'm just really excited about where we are right now. And I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me, for watching my videos. And I love you guys. So, yeah, let's talk about some fun makeup, shall we? So, this is going to be a long one. You're going to want to get a snack. Yeah. If this intro hasn't been enough of an idea for you that this is going to be a long video, then I don't know what will. So, let's jump right in. I'm going to keep babbling if I don't. So, let's start with primers. Honestly, there's one primer this year that stood out to me, and that's the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. Like, you can see where it's separated from the bottle because I've used so much of it. I'm obsessed with it. I love the beautiful glow that it gives to my skin. Y'all know I have dry skin, so anything that's going to help that's going to help me look more dewy and fresh and moisturized is a win in my book, and this definitely did it. I've found things that are drugstore dupes, but I still keep going back to this one in particular, and I don't know why it is, but I love this product. It has my heart. It's my ride or die. I will continue to always repurchase this because I love the way it makes my skin look. So going from there, we've got foundation, and the only foundation that stood out to me this year was this beautiful thing here. This is the Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. I have the shade Light, which only works for me in the summertime. I definitely need to get the lighter shade, but honestly, I wear it now just because I love wearing it, and I don't really care if it's too dark because it looks that amazing on my skin. There's just something about it. It has amazing coverage for a CC cream. Like, it's basically a foundation. It has SPF 50, so I take this anytime I go on vacation because it just makes it so much easier. I don't have to worry about bringing another product and using another product. I can just go straight in with this, and that's fantastic. It's perfect. It's the best foundation I've ever used. It makes my skin look airbrushed and healthy and just amazing, and I love it. Especially combined with the Becca Primer, these two together, life-changing. Life-changing. So from there, y'all know I'm going to talk about it. You know I am. Tarte Shape Tape, how can I not mention it? It's a winner. Like, I've tried a whole bunch of other concealers this year, and none of them come close to this. This is the only one that has the best coverage, that looks healthy under my eye, and it looks fantastic. It never looks cakey. It doesn't crease on me, but it definitely settles into fine lines. I've worn contacts since like 6th grade, so constantly pulling down my eyes. It's taking a toll on my under eye, but I don't really care. But this definitely sinks into it, into my fine lines and everything. But every concealer does, but it doesn't crease on me, which I appreciate. So, love that. To go along with that, this Hourglass powder, actually all Hourglass powders in general, like Hourglass just won the year for me. I'm obsessed with the way that these look on my skin. I now have added the Ambient Lighting Edit palette to my collection, plus the Metallic Strobe highlighting palette. I just love these powders. They're so finely milled, and they're just buttery, and they just make your skin look flawless. It's amazing, and I'm obsessed with them, and I use them every time I do my makeup now. Like, it's a part of my necessary routine to use those powders. They're just too perfect. So let's talk about some highlighters. I have two here that I'm in love with them. Like, this first one is the Smashbox Casey Holmes palette. I can't speak today. I can't talk about this enough. The powders in here are so smooth and buttery, and I love that there's 3 different intensity options, because sometimes I want to be more natural, sometimes I want to be covered in glitter, you know? I have those days. So I love that I can mix and match and create my perfect glow with these. I just think they're amazing, and they don't emphasize texture. They just look perfect on the skin. It's flawless. It really is. I use these when I'm doing like no makeup, when I'm doing like intense makeup. I use these constantly for every look that I do. Like, they have to be on my face every time I do my makeup. Have to be. And then from there, we have the Fenty Beauty highlighter. For me, honestly, Fenty Beauty just like, it won the year for me. It really did. Like, their products are just, they're good. And I love that there's products for every skin tone, every skin type. Well, the foundation isn't for every skin type, but across the board, you're going to find something that you're going to like. And I appreciate that fact. So this highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, y'all, these are freaking beautiful. Even the subtle side here is still blinding, and I love it, because I like a blinding highlight, and I like the fact that, again, there's different options, so I can layer, I can not layer, I can just adjust and find my perfect amount of glow, which I love. It's fantastic. So I have 3 different eye palettes for this year. These palettes, they just make me happy to look at, and every time I see them, I'm like, yep, that's what I want to use. I know that's what I want to use. I know what I can get out of them. I know how easy it's going to be. I know I don't have to work for it, and it's just fantastic. So the first one is obviously the Modern Renaissance palette. All these palettes, I'm not going to talk about too much because they're very popular. Everyone's mentioning them, and I know I've mentioned them in multiple favorites videos, so I'm not going to talk them to death. But this palette is just, it's beautiful. It's so easy to work with. It's got everything you need. I can get really intense, beautiful looks out of it. I can get really natural looks. I can get like one shade looks out of them. Like, I can do everything with it. It's one of my favorite palettes to travel with. I know every time I put this in my travel bag, I'm not going to need anything else. I don't have to take another palette, and that's really important to me. And I love the way these colors blend together and sit with each other, and they don't mud up. Like, I can use half the colors in this palette, and they're all going to be different enough that they're not going to turn into one nasty brown color, basically, which some palettes definitely do. So I really appreciate that fact. Obviously, there's a lot of fallout. I just make sure that I use this palette, or I do my eyes before I do my face if I'm using this palette. So the next palette is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I feel like the reviews on this were very 50-50. Some people love it, and other people hate it. Like, there's no in-between for it. It's either you love it or you hate it. I love it. It's my ride or die. It's the #1 palette that I have to have in my collection. I know every time I pick it up, I'm going to love the look I get out of it. And it's just going to be easy. I don't have to think about this palette. I love that. Like, some of the palettes I have, like the Subculture palette or the Prism palette from Anastasia, I love them because, you know, it's a great formula and all that. And the colors are beautiful. But I have to think about what look I want to do with it. I have to think about where the colors are going to go and how they're going to work together and all that. And sometimes I don't want to do that. And when I'm in that kind of mood, this is the palette that I reach for, because I know that I don't have to think about it. I know how these colors work. I know it's very laid out in what kind of look you're going to get out of it. And I love that. It's just my easy everyday palette. Plus it smells delicious. Like it's mouth-watering. It's actually making me hungry. And then the last palette is the Urban Decay Naked Heat. Yes, I know all these palettes were very mainstream, very popular this year. I'm sorry. It's just how I am. So, y'all have seen this palette. It's beautiful. Again, it's the same deal where I pick it up, I know what I'm going to get out of it. I don't have to think that hard about the colors. I know that they're going to blend easily. I know where everything's going to go and how it's going to look, and I love it. The only thing, I don't love the shimmers. They're not mind-blowing to me, but the mattes are. The mattes are like some of the best mattes that I've ever used, and I love it. So I don't know if I'd recommend it necessarily for the shimmers, but there's only 5 in here, 4 if you don't count the first one. So the shimmers I don't really recommend. They're not mind-blowing, but the mattes are everything to me, and it's one of my favorite palettes because of the mattes. Like, I don't use the shimmers, but the mattes are just that good that I look past the shimmers, if that makes any sense. Alright, moving on to the rest of the face. Y'all know I'm not a big bronzer person, so I'm not really going to mention any of those, because, I don't know, none of them stuck out to me. None of them, like, were mind-blowing and game-changing or anything like that. But blushes. This was the year of blushes for me. So, I have Benefit Dallas. Again, it's my ride or die. Everything about this blush is perfect. It's my everyday. Don't need to think. Don't need to worry. I just grab a brush, stipple it in, put it on my cheeks, and it looks perfect every single time. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't patch up. It blends out beautifully. It looks natural and just gives that really nice, beautiful flush to your cheeks that looks like you just like came out of the snow, out of the cold weather, whatever you want to call it. It looks perfect every single time. I don't have to think about it. The next blushes are incredibly affordable, and honestly, I think they stand up to a lot of the high-end blushes that I have. These are the LA Girl Just Blushing blushes. I have 2 of them. I have Just Playful and Just Radiant. Just Radiant is like a pinky peach color covered in gold glitter. There it goes. And then Just Playful is a really nice, beautiful mauve. Honestly, I think it's a dupe for Dallas Benefit, but I love both of them. They're very similar. These blushes are beautiful. They're so easy to blend out. You need to go in with a light hand. I will say that. You need a light hand because they're very powdery and they kick up a lot of excess, and it's just very easy to get a lot on your brush. But if you go in properly and you take your time to blend them out, they look beautiful. My favorite way is actually to put them on top of each other. I'll go in with Just Playful, and then I'll do just a touch of Just Radiant on top just to get that nice little bit of extra radiance on top, and it just looks perfect. Plus, these are like $3 at Ulta. Like, you can't beat that. You just can't. And then the last blush item that I have, okay, this is the Tarte Blush Bazaar palette. I love this palette and I totally recommend it. But when I'm talking about these, I'm talking specifically about Tarte blushes in general. The formula in these are some of the best formula that I've ever tried. I don't have to be scared of them. I can go in with a heavy hand, with a light hand. I love how hard but pigmented these are. They're kind of foolproof for me. They look beautiful on the skin. I specifically love this palette because of the range of colors that you get. You get your mauves, you get your pinks, your peaches. Everything that you need is in here. Plus you got 2 highlighters. This formula won the year for me for blushes, honestly. I don't know. I love them so much. I also have, what is this one? Feisty, which is another beautiful peachy, mauvey, basic kind of color, but this formula is just so fantastic that anything that you're going to get from them, from their Amazonian clay blushes, is going to be amazing. Whether you go with the palette, the singles, the smaller palettes, whatever it is, I promise you will love them because this formula is just out of this world for me. I only have one mascara to talk about, and it changed my game, honestly. This is the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. This mascara, nothing stands up to it. Every time I use it, my lashes are long and voluminous and separated and just look beautiful. I love the brush. I love how it's that fluffy, fibrous type of brush that, I don't know, it does something special. It really does. It's the best mascara, and I will continue to repurchase this over and over and over again. I don't care. It's perfect. Okay, and last but not least, we have lips. I have 3 different products to talk about for lips. I feel like I was not very adventurous with lips this year. I don't know. I stuck to my one color, and like I love the color, and I keep finding them in different formulas that I love. But these are all kind of the same basic color. So the first one I'll talk about are the Revlon Ultra HD Gel Lip Colors. These are my everyday, comfortable, basically wearing a lip balm type of colors. I wear these all the time. I wear these when I'm just wearing like brows and mascara. I wear them when I'm wearing like a full face of crazy makeup. I can wear these at any point and they're gonna look beautiful, and they're so friggin' comfortable. Like, they're moisturizing. They're not super long lasting, but I'm okay with that. I don't know why I'm okay with it, but I am. They're one of the most comfortable lip products I've ever used, and it's one of the few products that I found that I want every color in these because they're just that good, if that makes sense. So I have Desert, Sand, and Dawn. And Desert is my all-time favorite. It's that color that I love. It's slightly pink, it's slightly mauve, it's got that rosy undertone. It's your lips but better. It really is. It has a nice, beautiful, glossy finish. They don't dry down matte. They don't change texture at all. You can build them up to look really intense, or you can have them be more sheer and lightweight. It just, whatever you want to do with them, they work. And I love that. So the next formula that I want to talk about are the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuits. I've mentioned these a million times, so I'm not going to talk them to death. But they really are the best liquid lipstick formula I've ever found. They're not drying, they're comfortable, they're long lasting. It literally feels like you're wearing a lip balm when you wear these. And I love it. Plus they're like $5. You can't beat that price. And then the last product that I want to talk about are the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks. These are the minis from the Sephora gift set that I reviewed a couple months ago. These are so freaking comfortable. Can you tell that that's a theme here? I'm about comfort. My lips are constantly dry. Nothing fixes them. Nothing helps them. I can do a lip scrub and then a really nice, thick, moisturizing lip balm, and in the morning I'll wake up and I'll still be peeling and cracking and painful. It just, nothing fixes them. So any lip color that I put on my lips has to be moisturizing and comfortable. So, honestly, these do it for me. I have the shade Sugar Cane, which is a nice basic nude. I have the shade Rhubarb, which is a little bit darker, more of like a berry kind of nude, which is like my everyday kind of color. And then I have the shade Cayenne. I have a fourth one, but I have no idea where it is, which is kind of annoying. It's probably in my purse, knowing me. But this is like a really beautiful orangey red. These are honestly my favorite formula out of the year, I think, for actual lipsticks. They won it. They did it. I'm so happy I picked up this set because I don't think I ever would have bought the full size on its own, even though I was like constantly looking at them. For some reason, the price just kept pushing me away. But now that I know how amazing this formula truly is, I want the full size in every color because I just know that I'm never going to get sick of them. And I'm really happy that I've stepped more into true lipsticks and out of the liquid lipstick game because they really were just wrecking my lips. Just absolutely wrecking them. So, oh god, I have another product. I thought it was done. I'm sorry, guys. So, last product, I swear. This is the Too Faced Hangover RX primer and setting spray. Oh my god, did this change everything for me. Like, I thought I liked setting sprays, and then I tried this, and I was like, all of those are crap, because this is just so amazing. The way that it makes my makeup look, like, I could look like a powdery mess, and as soon as I put this on, my makeup becomes flawless. Absolutely flawless every single time. Doesn't matter what foundation I'm using, what powder I'm using, what anything I'm using. As long as I put this on, my makeup looks flawless and lasts all day long. Plus it smells good, so that's definitely a plus. Plus I've noticed that it makes my highlight pop like 10 times more than any other setting spray or anything, so that's always a plus, because you know your girl likes to pop and highlight. Okay, so that is finally the end of this video. These are all the products that I loved this year, that stood out to me, that I'm obsessed with. Looking at all this makeup, it makes me happy. So, I hope you guys liked this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next one. Bye!